Avoid men that gossip at all costs. This is something that took me a while to figure out, but I'm very grateful to have learned this lesson. Men who gossip about other men and their endeavors and talk about those men and talk about people in a negative light will likely do the very same thing to you at some point or another down the line. These people are infectious, and the more time you spend around them, the more of a negative impact they will have on you and your mindset, the more doubt that they will put into you and your endeavors and your ideas. These people will say horrible negative things about people who are trying to change their lives and build something special. For example, we all know these types of people that will crap on somebody for trying to set up a business or trying to create content on social media or trying to take up something new within their life. And they'll judge them before they've had any success. And they'll say it's going to fail, and they'll say they look so stupid for trying. Look at this guy. Why is he setting up a business? It's never going to work. He's going to fail, just like he's always failed. Really, really negative people. And if you're around those people, look, first and foremost, it can have a negative effect on you and your mindset. You can become negative by being around such negativity. That's why I said it's infectious. They have such dirty, low vibration energy. Even being around them brings you down. And when you hear them talk negatively about other people and their ideas, it makes you start to question your own ideas. You hear them constantly calling people that want to become entrepreneurial stupid. You who wants to become entrepreneurial starts to feel stupid just by being in their presence. But if you took a step away and got away from these people, pushed them to the corner where they deserve to be, you wouldn't feel that way. You wouldn't feel that way. When you're around negative people, you'll become more negative. But on the flip side, if you're around positive people, you will become more positive. And I'm yet to meet a gossiping man who has been a positive influence. It's not a very noble or virtuous thing to do, gossiping behind another man's back. They wouldn't dare say it to the man's face, but behind their back, they're happy to say whatever they think. They're happy to write a book about that person. I mean, these people that gossip, they're so invested in other people's lives and they're so invested in their failure. It's this really sad set of affairs where somebody else is so focused on watching somebody lose or rooting for somebody to lose, more focused on the other person losing than themselves winning. It truly is pathetic. And I think if you hang around with such men, it will only have a negative impact on you. It's going to make you doubt yourself, but it's also maybe going to rub off on you in a way where you start to become a bit of a hater. You start to become a bit of a gossiper. And potentially you start gossiping about people because you have this low-life acquaintance or friend who does it. And that's not good. Always try and get yourself away from people like that. And another reason is, look, if they gossip about somebody else to you, at some point or another, they're going to gossip to somebody else about you. You're not safe from this. Just because you're the person that they're gossiping with doesn't mean that one day it's not going to be you that's the focal point of a conversation. And these people, they're not friends. Friends don't go behind your back and gossip about you. In fact, it's the opposite. If they're behind your back and they're having a conversation about you without you being aware, they're most likely bigging you up. They're most likely talking about your achievements to other people. They're most likely talking about their belief in you to other people. How far they think you can go. The type of person you are in a good way. That's real friendship. But gossiping men, they don't do that. They don't do that. I would put gossiping men in the same bracket as the men who will publicly shame and try and embarrass their friends for a little shot at a woman, or a little shot at an opportunity for sex. These type of dirty, grimy, horrible men, I would put gossiping in the same bracket. So look, be careful hanging around these men. Be careful spending time with gossipers. It is one of the lowest traits on the spectrum. It really is. It's such an unmasculine thing to do. Gossiping about another man and his business, predicting his failure, hoping for his downfall. You should be so busy worrying about yourself and winning, and worrying about your friends and them winning, than anybody else who you don't like failing. It's not to say you can't observe practical realities. If somebody's doing something and you think it's downright wrong, then you do have a right to comment on such things. But I would separate that from gossip, which is just a pointless, constant negative chatter about other people who aren't doing you any harm, who are genuinely trying to do good, and who are looking to change their lives. It's just so pathetic. And as I said, I put it in the same bracket as those guys who will do anything to impress women, with a hope, with a chance of a little bit of sex. It's so ugly and it's so unmasculine. And I would encourage you, look, if you feel like within your close circle of friends there's some gossipers, get away from them. These people destroy lives. They destroy friendships by speaking about one friend to another friend, spinning the truth, creating drama, creating gossip. If you're in a relationship with a girl that you really care about and you have gossipy friends that are friends of you both, for example, this can be extremely detrimental for a relationship, because they can sort of weave their way in and plant little seeds of doubt in either yourself or your partner that are complete fabrications. They can do damage to relationships. They can do damage to everything. It's like a poison seed putting it in a bed of beautiful flowers, and it just slowly starts to infect all of these beautiful flowers, and they start to crumple and wrinkle and fall, and it's just not worth the risk. It really isn't worth the risk. So stay away from gossipers. Where possible, give them the cold shoulder. Don't reward such low-hanging fruit with your presence. I truly think this is one of the most disgusting traits that a man can have. It is so obviously unmasculine. Talking about another man who is trying to change his life and trying to do good in a negative way, praying for his downfall. It honestly, it infuriates me to even think about it. It's a really, truly disgusting trait, and I would implore you guys to stay away from these people. And if you have friends that are like this, kick them to the curb, get them out of their life, because they are infectious. And if they gossip to you, they will gossip about you. If your friends gossip to you, they will gossip about you. You've got to learn to avoid gossipers at all costs. They are infectious. If you allow them to get too close, they will ruin your life. They will ruin your friendships. Possibly they'll ruin your relationships. These are not strong men. These are not men who care about anything but themselves. These are men who are completely motivated by their own self-interest and don't care who they'll trample on or speak negatively about to progress. And they're not people that you want in your circle, especially if you are trying to build a great life for yourself and lead an honest life, where you are doing good things for the world and making some improvement in your local community or wider community or global improvement. You don't need people like that around you. Quite frankly, guys, they are cancerous. So avoid them like the plague. Anyway, guys, look, if you took some value from this video today, be sure to smash the like button. Comment your thoughts down below, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. We're looking to grow as much as possible, and every single subscription counts. And for you guys that are already subscribed, do me a massive favor and turn on the post notification bell down below so that you are notified every single time I post. As always, guys, thank you for your time and your attention, and I will see you in the next one.